Hey, but that new intro though.
Hey, what's going on, everybody of YouTube? This is KAD Daily, and I'm back with another highly requested tutorial. On my last video, you guys kind of spammed me with a tutorial request of custom sleeves, so I was like, yo, this is the tutorial that's gonna be next. And if you guys are wondering like how I pick my tutorials, it's kind of the tutorial that a lot of people ask, just so I can get that out of the way. So after I get all the big requests out, I can actually do these smaller requests by individual people. That's when no one's really like requesting a certain tutorial. But anyways, custom sleeves, pretty dope. And you got the cuffs on the bottom of the sleeve so you can keep your sleeve in place, and it just kind of adds to the overall sleeve itself. Let's stop all this talking, let's get straight into making the custom sleeves.
Here's an overview of everything that's going to be used in this tutorial. Starting off with the tools, you're going to need some pins, just your average pins. You're going to need a seam ripper and some regular cutting tools. Now for the materials, you're going to need a sweater, which I got from Target. You're going to need some fabric, at least a yard, which I got from Joann's, and you're going to need some ribbed material. And that's everything you're going to need. First thing we're going to do is turn the sweater or jacket inside out. Afterwards, you want to locate the area in which the sleeve is connected. Then you want to go grab your seam ripper and start separating the sleeve from the actual jacket or sweater. You want to take your time on this because you don't want to make a big gaping hole. And you want to also repeat this for the other side of the sweater. But once you're approaching the end, you should be able to pull off the sleeve like so without any problems. And once you're done with both sides, you should end up with two different sleeves. Next, we're going to cut out the custom sleeves. Make sure to double up on your fabric so there's two layers. Then you want to grab one of your sleeves, doesn't matter which one it is, and place it right over the fold. When you're cutting out the sleeve, make sure to add a 3 to 4 inches to the bottom there where the red color is. This is just because we need to have that extra allowance because we're going to be sewing a different type of material to the actual jacket or sweater. It compensates for the lack of stretchiness if you're using any type of fabric. But once you cut out the sleeve, you just want to make sure that everything is nice and straight because it's gonna look funky if it's like a weird shape or just cut out weird. After you cut the first sleeve, you want to replicate it onto the second sleeve by placing it over and cutting the outline. Remember to double up on the fabric, and also remember to put one of the sides of the sleeve on the fold of the fabric. And the reason why we do this is because we don't want to sew both sides of the sleeve. It just saves some time and it saves some stress later, so that's why it's on the fold of the fabric. But just follow the outline of the sleeve and you should be all set with both your sleeves, which should look something like this. Next, we're going to pin the sleeves onto the jacket slash sweater so it's easier to sew on. You want to have the sweater slash jacket inside out and the fabric right side up. Notice how I showed you where the opening of the sleeve is. You want to have it on the bottom so it matches the bottom of the open sleeve area. And you want to have the fold match the top part of the sweater slash jacket. And here's what I mean by that. Here's the open area and you want to match that up with the bottom of the open sleeve area. And then you want to start pinning the bottom of the sleeve onto the bottom part of the open sleeve area. So just take your pin and you want to work your way around the sleeve. Just take your time on this because you want to make sure you have enough fabric, because if you don't have enough fabric, you can just go back and just cut out a new sleeve. But if you have excess fabric, that's good. You want to have that excess fabric. You want to make sure everything is nice and secure, and then you want to repeat this for both sides. Make sure it looks something like this before you proceed to the next step. Take your sweater slash jacket to the sewing machine and zigzag stitch the pinned area. Take your time on this because you can accidentally forget to sew the sleeve in, which creates a big gaping hole which you don't want. People think you're nasty. But anyways, once you're done with all the sewing for both sides, pull it out and make sure there's no holes or anything like that. Once you're done sewing the sleeves, you want to cut off the excess fabric if you have any. But if you don't have any excess fabric, you're a freaking beast and I will bow down to you for show. Next, you just want to start pinning the open part of the sleeve. This is just gonna make it easier for us to close the sleeve when we're in our sewing machine, because it won't start moving around, getting like misaligned and all that stuff that happens when you don't pin stuff together. But once you finish the right or left side, you want to go repeat this same process for the other side of the sleeve that you didn't pin down already. Next, you just want to zigzag stitch the area that you just pinned down. You can straight stitch the area, but the hold isn't that great because it's just a straight stitch versus zigzag stitch where you have more stitches going along the area that's open, which gives a good consistent hold over a straight stitch. But it is up to you guys which one you have or what you're limited to. Remember to always start and end with a back stitch. Next, we're going to hem the end of the sleeve so we don't have some excess material that we don't need. And the way you do that is you just fold it over once on both sleeves. You can fold it twice if you want to, but one is enough. And after you got both of them folded, you want to take it to your sewing machine and just do your regular straight stitch. Start with a back stitch and with a back stitch. You know the procedure, guys. You know. And then repeat this for the other side as well. Once you sew on both sides, you just want to cut off all the excess fabric that is left. Now we're going to make the cuff for the sweater slash jacket. Go grab your rib material or fabric and lay it flat and make sure it's also doubled up so it's 2 layers. Then you want to place your arm over the ribbed material, wrap it around, make it a nice and good or tight hold. And then you want to mark that area and then cut it down with your pair of scissors or rotary cutter, whatever you want to use. And then you want to replicate this length onto the second cuff, so you have 2 cuffs in total. Make sure they're the same size. Next, we're going to close the cuff that we just made. Just fold it over once and then sew along the open part of the cuff. Make sure the cuff is nice and aligned with the other side, and always start and end with a back stitch just to secure the stitch. After you get both cuffs sewn, you want to put the cuff over the end of the sleeve. This is going to give us a reference to on where to cut, because we have to have the end of the sleeve equal or have the same width as the cuff itself. So you want to do exactly what I'm doing, and then you want to restitch the cut area. After you restitch both of the sleeves, you want to turn your sweater right side up and insert the cuff inside out. And at the part where the end of the sleeve is, that's where you're going to be doing the stitching. So you want to make sure the end of the cuff matches up with the end of the sleeve. And then after you got both done, you want to just take it to your sewing machine and do your regular straight stitch or zigzag stitch. It does not matter. Take your time on this part because it's actually pretty difficult to do. After you finish one side, you want to go ahead and repeat this for the other side. And then you're pretty much done with your new custom sleeves for your jacket or sweater. But basically, that's the tutorial. If you find anything confusing, let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you guys want to see as a tutorial next. Remember to like the video and subscribe. But anyways, KAD Daily out, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.